says it again. I don't care about my ex and I don't have any plans to get back with him. And I was like, okay, this is where I need you to STFU. Yeah. I was about to do the reaction for episode 9 and I remembered that I had not done the review for episode 8. My bad, guys, my bad. I may or may not combine them. Let's just see how it goes. For all you Happy Hearing watchers, for everybody who watched Happy Hearing on here, just to let you know, there are full reaction episodes on Patreon and they are free to watch. Some of them don't have reactions because I lost the footage, which was what, you know, threw me off when I was doing those back in the day. But those are being uploaded there and they're free to watch, so be sure to check it out. Also, to all my physical, you know, 100 physical girlies, gals, others, days, dems, all of you. Physical Asia is also on Patreon. That's also free to watch. Squid Game is going to be coming. The challenge is going to be coming next week. There's a ton of free stuff on there, so be sure to check it out. So Happy Hearing, Physical Asia, all of that stuff free. Anywho, let's get back to episode 8 of Exchange Season 4. So the residents find out that Min Kyung is not in the house. And they put 2 and 2 together because everybody else is in the house. So if she's not here, that must only mean that she's on a date. So basically, new guy's coming, right? Like they put that together real quick, which was kind of interesting. She and Jaehyun come back together. Now, I don't think that they've done this before. I don't think that this has happened before in all of Love Island. Sorry, I'm watching Love Island Australia. In all of Exchange history, let me know for you guys who saw season 1 and 2. I doubt it because in 3, they always come back separately. The dates will come back and then, you know, the new people will come in at a later time. But these ones, they came in together. Homeboy, meaning Yushik, immediately as he sees Jaehyun, he runs off. Runs off to get his hair washed. Actually, I thought he was just going to comb his hair, but it turned out that he was actually washing his hair. He went to go and get himself presentable is basically what it is. He's like, oh, new challenger around, I gotta present. It was kind of funny, cute. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Wonq even goes after him because they're all seated and waiting and he hasn't come back yet. So Wonq goes after him and Wonq even changes his own shirt too. It was just funny. Honestly, I loved all of it. They then had introductions once all of them were sitting together. Turns out Jaehyun is working at a cafe right now but studying to become a barista. No, that's a different word. A barista, guys. And he is planning to make eventually create his own brand. Not bad. He has really cute ears, the Dumbo ears. I have those. I think maybe I still do, maybe a little bit. I don't know, my face is kind of chubby, so I can't tell for real. But I used to have those when I was a kid, and because I was so thin, they stuck out like this. It was crazy. But they're cute. I really do love them. Then we find out that a secret room has opened for him. So they open that and he's going to be in a single room by himself. I don't like it when they do that, to be honest. But again, there's no other choice. Everybody else is coupled up in their rooms, right? But it also feels kind of isolating because it's now like OG gang versus new gang. And I don't know, I just felt some type of way. I always do. It's nothing to do with the show. I always do when these things happen. While everybody was checking out the secret room, Baekhyun and Yoonyoung had a moment in the living room. He asked for his bracelet back. So he'd given her his bracelet during their date. And she was wearing it, but she wore it downstairs so she could give it back to him. So he takes it back. He pisses me off for no reason at this point in time. Him and his ex piss me off for no reason at this point, guys. Because I don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing here. I don't know what they want. And it's throwing me off. Okay, I don't know how I got into me. Baekhyun and Hyunji. But let's continue. Anywho, so Yoonyoung and Baekhyun had this touchy moment when he grabs, obviously he has to touch her, right? So he grabs the bracelet back and then they kind of play and giggle and laugh. It would be cute if I could trust him. It is not, guys. Not to me. I'm sorry. I will not buy into this bullshit that he's trying to sell us right now. Flutter text time, guys. Baekhyun gets one from Yoonyoung. Yoonyoung gets one from Baekhyun. Match there. Yushik gets 2. One from Jihyun and one from Hyunji. Hyunji unfortunately got nada, which is going to add to her spiral towards the middle of this episode. Jihyun gets one, and it's from Yoon Shik. And I will say that this has been one of the better text messages. I think it was the best text message he has ever sent in the season so far. He just wrote to Jihyun. Is it still weak? Yes, but it's better than you did good today. Good job today. You know, it was better than all the crap that he has been giving. He did to Jihyun because when she wrote her letter to him, she'd written to Yushik. So it was a little more, there was a little more thought put into this one, and I appreciated it just considering what we've had to work with him throughout the entire season. And then the Glory gets one from Wonkyu. Wongyoo gets one from the Glory. Min Kyung gets one from Jaehyung. He said, have a nice time. And I was like, what was that? How about I like the dates? You're very funny. It was great to hang out with. Like any of those options would have worked better than have a nice time. What did he mean by have a nice time? And guys, they didn't even translate it for us on the screen. I had to whip up my Google Translate because I was watching it again and I was like, what did he even say? What is have a nice time? Someone explain that to me because I didn't get it. And then Jihyun got one from Min Kyung. Sorry, Jaehyun. Sorry, I'm using initials. Jaehyun got one from Min Kyung, and she wrote, "You have a beautiful smile." A lot better. Like Min Kyung she's the ace when it comes to dating these men and sending text messages. So I expected nothing less from her. Let's just be honest. We then see that Yushik is observing, he's looking at Min Kyung and Jaehyung. Obviously, they came back from a date together. So he's very much aware about these people. He's like just in tune with them. In his one-on-one, he says that it looks like his ex is having a good time, but that he expected that much. And because of that, he will be able to, what did he say? He said it will help him keep himself together. I don't know what that meant. I really don't know what he meant by that. I think what he was trying to say was that the fact that she's moving on, he will probably try to move on. He does say in the end that if he finds somebody that he's interested in, he will give it a shot. But I still didn't understand his statement. In his one-on-ones, I really don't know what's going on. I think they told him not to show any emotion so that people cannot really gauge who he ended up with, who he didn't, or, And so he just has this deadpan look, because sometimes he breaks character. So there was one time he was talking about Jihyun and something that she did, and I think he found it funny, cute, and he broke character. But this deadpanness in his one-on-one, I'm just over it. I'm like, give us something, give us some emotion, please. Then we see that the Glory gets one more text, guys. One more text. And all the text said was, "I'm sorry." Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. And it was from Woojin. And her reaction told me everything that I needed to know. Everything. This girl is crying wolf. She is still in love with this man. I don't care. And the fact that she just refuses to forgive him. So at least forgive him. She has not forgiven him, guys. She hasn't. It's easy. It's not easy, but you have the ability to forgive somebody and not forget. I'm a person who remembers. The North remembers. I'm kidding. I forgive instantly. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's like, forgive, it's done. We're done. But I will remember. But she has not forgotten. She has not forgiven either. And immediately she read the text. She just went, It was kind of sad to watch. And immediately there, she starts crying. Because I think they make them stay together when they receive this water text, which is just cruel and unusual punishment. But they make them do that. Even in Heart Signal, they make them do that too. Just cruelness, honestly. So she couldn't go anywhere. So she immediately starts crying and has to cover her head with the blanket. And it's like, okay. Just forgive the man. Go back to the love of your life and let's move on from this fake story that you're trying to create for yourself. It's not going to work. Besides, I think the guy that she's even dating is still stuck on his own ex as well. That story was heavy, guys. But we'll get to it by the end of this. So we then see that Woojin gets no text at all, obviously, because he hadn't really talked to anybody and he was focused on his ex. And, it wasn't his day. This day was just not his day. Oh, I think somebody made a comment about the Glory, saying that she basically orchestrated everything to be in his presence during the day, and I have to agree. Even though I said that Wongyoo was the one who followed Woojin upstairs in the previous episode, she really was the one who told him he's upstairs, and proceeded to do that. Plus, she was the one who also intruded in their 3-man shopping thing. She loves this man. We all know it. She knows it. Eventually, Wongi will know it. The whole world knows that the Glory still loves Woojin. Just forgive him and let's move on with our lives, because you're wasting our time here. You're wasting our bloody time. Hyunji hovers like a freaking vulture, just waiting for an opportune time to talk to Baekhyun. I think she was upstairs, just hovering and monitoring spirits, monitoring the air, monitoring the environment, waiting for a time to clock her ex-boyfriend. They finally do get a moment, and she starts crying. But I checked, guys. I went back multiple times. There were no tears falling from those eyes. He does give her his handkerchief at some point in time. And she's wiping right inside her eyeball, guys, because there were no tears. There were no tears. This couple is toxic to each other. They are both very manipulative. It would seem that Baekhyun is more manipulative than her, but this proved it to me. Now, go check yourself and see if I'm wrong, guys. But I checked multiple times. There were no tears falling from her eyes. It might be edits. It might be the edits, but they were not. But she was also saying things like, I hate it here, I want to leave. Then leave. Leave. Free the man. Let him do what he wants to do. If you hate, leave. Did you not know what the show was about before you came on the show? Like, I don't understand why now you're here. Yes, look, I get it in the grand scheme of things. I understand. But this rubbish that Hyunji is doing, I don't understand. And she and Baekhyun need to just pack their load and go back to where they came from. Because I just wasn't buying it. Anywho, the gist of their conversation was that he tells her basically that she should just try and have fun with it and try and get comfortable, that he's really not doing anything special. All he's doing is what the show is, and he's not wrong. I mean, he knows what he's doing, but he's not wrong in what he's saying. He then confirms to her, because she'd asked him about it, he confirms that he has not thrown away the, what's it called? The intro letter that she sent. So she was like, well, so why do it? Why say that? Like, did you just want to hurt me? He did apologize. He said that he realized that he made a mistake as soon as he said it. And I was like, okay, good. They are almost like busted, because Yushik is looking for Baekhyun everywhere, trying to get, I don't know what he wanted. I think he just wanted to talk to him. And that's his pali now. That's his body. But Yushik doesn't see her, because Baekhyun kind of like blocks him at the door. But maybe he did see her water bottle, which was on, because they were on the outside terrace. So the water bottle was on the table, but they were like in the side corner away from the door. So maybe he saw it, maybe he didn't. I don't know. He looked back, but I don't think, he didn't really say anything. They didn't say anything whether he knew or not, so we don't know. Baekhyun then asks Hyunji, because obviously they want time to talk and all. He then asks her to meet him at the entrance at 3 a.m., right? He says, we obviously can't talk now, so let's arrange a meetup. He was the one who asked her for this. So they agreed to meet at 3 a.m. A bunch of them then gather, downstairs in that small living room where they always gather to talk and everything. And little Miss Denial takes the opportunity to remind Woojin one more time that she doesn't care about her ex. And that she doesn't want to get back with him. She said it twice, because in the middle of what she was saying, Min Kyung stands up and says that she's going to bed. So when Min Kyung left, the Glory says it again. I don't care about my ex, and I don't have any plans to get back with him. And I was like, okay, this is where I need you to STFU. Yeah. Seriously, because it's enough. It's enough. She's done enough. We know. Everybody and their grandmother knows. The dogs that are roaming the streets know that you don't want to get back with your ex. We know. Enough. Jeez Louise. We then see that Hyunji go to the gate. Where they'd agreed to meet. We see her leave the house. I don't know why she was first, but that in itself tells you something. But she was first. She went outside to go and meet. She went very early. She went on time to go and meet him outside. And she was waiting. 20 minutes later, we see her go back inside the house. Because this man stood her up. This boy stood her up. I said, it could never be me. Guys, you know that skit, that whole clip that is going around right now. If I perish, I perish. One light and light. I would have gone inside there and I would have decked this boy here. beat the living life out of him. Guys, we don't condone violence, but sometimes you have to slap a bitch. Because why? So she goes back to her room. She's frustrated, as she should be. She's just heated, like just boiling. Jihyun is in the room. She tells Jihyun everything that happened. Obviously didn't name the ex, but she said, I was supposed to meet my ex. He asked me to meet him and then he doesn't show up. Jihyun was like, show up, go and confront him. And I was with Jihyun with that. So they go to the room, and they go to, whose room did they go to? I think they go to Baekhyun's room. But doesn't that already tell Jihyun who the ex was? I don't think she was thinking really straight. But he was in there. He was in there with Yoon Wongyu and Yushik, and they were just chilling, chatting. Then their group moves downstairs to go and join the other group with Jaehyun because they were still there just chatting. And the girls went downstairs and they find him there. And this boy does not even look at Hyunji. He's just, he walks, like he sees her, walks past her, and just sits down and he's backing her. Guys, the roundhouse kick. They would drag it. They would call the cops on me. I would have either kicked his head or slapped him. Just pow. Gone upstairs, packed my load, and left the house. Because why? No, that was terrible. So the hosts are thinking, maybe he forgot and everything. Maybe, maybe he just forgot and he wasn't paying attention to the time and the time passed. And then they switched to his one-on-one and this man didn't forget. He didn't. He actually checked the time. He knew when it was. But because he didn't want to alert them to the fact that he was going somewhere, he just stayed and let her just get, what's it called? Outside. Stood up outside. I was like, no. It would have been better if he'd forgotten. Now, I don't know what he's going to claim in episode 9. He might claim that he forgot. We don't know. Because... have we caught him in a lie yet? Yes, we caught him in a lie when he said that he threw away the letter, didn't we? I hope he doesn't bold-faced lie like that. We're not stupid now. But we'll see what he says. Anyway, next morning, Minkyung and Jaehyun sort of like make breakfast. She was making breakfast and he walked in and they eat together. Then we see Minkyung having her own things upstairs after the breakfast and the interaction with Jaehyun. He knocks on the door and it turned out to be Yushik. He was looking for the vacuum. They didn't have it. So when he was about to walk away and she tried to stop him, which he did stop, but then he heard people coming down. I think somebody was about to come up the staircase. So he left. Her reaction was really, it was apt. Honestly, it was apt. She was so frustrated. She was like, he's so annoying. And I actually found it so cute. I found it so cute. She really didn't want to have it. But my next guess was that she was going to berate him some more. If I was being, I just knew it, that she was going to accuse him of something. So I think it was the best option that he just scuttled off before somebody saw them and everything. But she was frustrated. So she goes back to her makeup table and everything. And Hyunji tells her that she was talking in the night, that Hyunji was just checking up on her saying, are you okay? Because you were talking throughout the night when you were sleeping. I was like, yeah, she's my night talking sister. Guys, when I'm exhausted, when I've had a very long day, I talk. I usually during tax season. I don't have to worry about that anymore, thank God. Minkyung does break down. She starts crying and you can just tell that she was overwhelmed by everything that was going on. Obviously, Hyunji consoles her and all that. We then see that Yushik on his own end goes back to his room and finally opens up the breakup package. I forget what it's actually called, but the package, that the parcels that they all received, which were things from their exes. He finally opened up his, and it was a gift that he'd given her, a pair of shoes that he'd given her for her birthday. And he said that they were Alexander McQueen's. These kids are rich, no? I know Minkyung is from a rich family. I know that. You don't have to tell me, guys. I already know. I wasn't sure about Yushik, but anyhow, it was. He said that it was her favorite gift that she'd ever received from him. It's one of the things that she loved most from him. So he knew it meant a lot when she sent it back. The girls then all get a text that someone wants to talk to them, and the boys also get a separate text saying that they can anonymously talk to anybody that they want. They need to text back the names of the person that they want. We then see this huge white room with basically phones on the wall, so different individual walls. It's kind of like out of Squid Games or something. because I'm watching Squid Game. But it was a white room with green phones on the walls, and there's multiple of them. So essentially, the men can all be having conversations in there at the same time, but because of how many panels with phones they are on them, it can hide who is in the room with you. So you don't know who is on the phone with you, because the men were given options to ask questions to 2 women. I think they could listen in on their exes if they wished, but they could only question 2 women of their choices. So the first stop was Yoon Young, and she was hoping for Baekhyun. And it turns out that she was talking to Jae Hyung and Won Kyu. I was surprised that Won Kyu was on the phone. I almost felt like a lot of the choices that a lot of them were making, I was surprised that they were making it, because I didn't see any interest there in the first place. So why were they calling all these girls? Like, what was it that was going on? But Baekhyun was not even on the call at all. He said that he already knew Yoon Young well, so he guessed he didn't need to waste a phone call on her. That's essentially that's what I heard, guys. I don't know what he was saying, but that's what I heard. Second was The Glory, and Baekhyun was the only one who called her. Apparently, he was worried and just checking in on her. Now, that's all we see in this episode. Maybe in episode 9, it continues. No, actually, it doesn't. Does it? Yes, maybe in episode 9, it continues, and somebody else will call The Glory. But Baekhyun was the only one. He said that he was just worried about her and he was checking up on her. Moving on. Third was Ji Hyung. And for me, this was actually the best call of the episode. So, Yushi calls and is asking, the basic questions. And then the interesting part was when another person's voice can be heard on the phone. Obviously, they're altering the guys' voices, guys. So the girls don't know who they are talking to. The voices are modified on the girls' side. We hear another person on the phone, and it's Jae Hyung, new guy. And he said that he was also interested in her because she was very welcoming and engaging when he showed up in the house, which I can actually attest to. She was very smiley with him when he showed up in the house. He was asking, ideal man questions. So it's not your ex, do you still have feelings for your ex? All those type of questions. Now, we then see, which was the highlight of the entire phone call for me, that there was somebody else on the phone, and it turned out to be Won Gyu. And we know that Won Gyu is her ex. So he was just on the phone listening to everything that they were saying. And you know what it is about eavesdroppers. When you eavesdrop, you hear things you don't want to hear. And my God, did the man hear a lot of things that he did not want to hear. They weren't bad things said about him. They were just heartbreaking things. When they asked her if she still had feelings for her ex, she replied, "We've already broken up," which was not a direct answer. I clocked that, guys, but didn't say anything about it. She then says that she was open to reconnect with him at first, but now not anymore since she got into the house. Then she was asked, why did you break up? Why did you guys break up? She said there were a lot of practical issues between them, but mostly because she didn't feel like he truly loved her. Oh, that was painful, guys. That was painful for me to hear. Much less Won Gyu, who was eavesdropping, listening in on the conversation. I felt bad for him in so many different ways. And I also felt bad for her. Like, is that how she truly felt in the relationship? Or they need to talk. They need to definitely talk. So we then see Ji-won and Won Gyu's story. And they dated from August 23 to about June 2024. Which means they've been broken up for about 1.5 years or so by now. In their one-on-one before they entered the exchange house, she said that she had erased him from her memory. But he said he had kept everything. Now, remember that for a little bit later. The gist of their entire relationship, guys, is that they were introduced to each other and they hit it off, that first night that they met. Like, it was smooth sailing. They did a lot of adventurous things together. A lot of weird things that you wouldn't probably do. Going to, like, a school playground in your early 20s or whatever. Because I know how old she is because I accidentally found her her actress profile page. Because I was snooping too hard. So I know how old she is, but I will not be spoiling that for anybody. And I'm guessing he's got maybe at least 5 years on her. Because I think he's in his 30s. I don't know how old he is. But I think he is in his 30s. At least, minimum. So they did a lot of really amazing things, and she called their relationship amazing and childlike. And we see a lot of cute moments of him, things that you would never imagine the Wongyu that we've been seeing do, because he seems very serious, serene, like quiet right now. But he was being very silly with her in a lot of the clips and the pictures that they were showing. They even got to the point where they were talking about marriage. So it was a very serious relationship for the both of them, and they felt like they could do anything in their relationship. I think career decisions and career changes was kind of like the spark, or it didn't help, but I think it actually sparked the beginning of the end of their relationship. She switched during while they were dating. She had the courage to stop, to quit acting, and she was going to switch to journal. I can't say it. Guys, I'm tired. Sorry. She was going to switch to journalism. Now, he didn't mind her career change, but there was no certainty in the time when she would achieve the goals of being a journalist. He kept calling her an announcer. And I was like, God, have some respect. She called it journalism. He kept calling it announcer, guys. That was, again, another thing that was like a flag for me between the two of them. It irked me a bit, just a smidge. It irked me a smidge. But he's also somebody that values stability. And so, the fact that she wasn't really, he said that he wanted her to give her all towards becoming a journalist. But, you know, Ji-won seems like a very free-spirited kind of person where, yes, this is something that she wants to do and she will keep trying to achieve that. But also anything else that is on the way, she was picking up and trying to do as well. And he didn't like that. He wanted her to focus on one thing alone. He also was telling her stories about, you know, his friends. I think one of his friends had gotten married and the friend's family had set him up with the whole clinic. And I think there was already some insecurities with the difference between his career and her career. She was unemployed at one point. You know, he's this medical professional making bank, right? So I'm guessing that there was some insecurity there, because when he told her that story about the family buying that guy a clinic, she was like, is that what you want me to do? Because I can't really afford to do that. Obviously, she's not rich like that. So as she just went down that rabbit hole and kept digging it for herself until the point where, you know, she started thinking that maybe she wasn't the right person for him. Now, on his part, like I said, he valued stability. And so because she was dabbling in all these little things while she was trying to set up her announcer career, he started thinking that maybe there was somebody else better out there for him. And I was like, yeesh. And I think he verbalized that to her, because on the phone call, she was saying, how could you say that to me? Like, she was saying that when they were talking in the phone call, she said, how could you say that? Like, that's where they started actually fighting. And that he sent her this long text, which she remembered, guys. Yes, she's an actress and this is her job. But she remembered everything word for word, just like, I think I feel like the Glory did that whole, you know, retelling of something that happened word for word. Oh my God, guys, word for word. And so she replied the long text saying, it sounds like you want us to break up. And she said immediately, he replied, yes, let's break up. And that was what broke her heart. That, like, how could you just throw everything, you know? The fact that he replied so quickly and he was so willing to break up with her. So that's where that's where their relationship ended. So we see the clocks. And he was 30% new relationship, 70% old, while she was 80% new relationship, 20% old. Even their ex reveal montage, you know how they forced them to do this reveal so that they can put it in the beginning for us, guys. There was no physical touch. There was no love there to be found there. I don't think these people got back together, at least not on the show. Maybe they work things out outside of the show, but on the show, I don't think they get back together. So we can shut this thing down. But I think it's going to be a very interesting series of events that leads to them not getting back. I'm sure 100% they didn't get back together just because of that montage. There was no love there, guys. There was no physical touching at all. They didn't want to hold, nothing. Oh my days. Anyway, so back to the one-on-one meeting before they entered the house. He said he didn't have anything to return to her because he didn't want to return anything to her. And me, I translated that to him wanting to hold on to the relationship. Just like he said that he had not erased her memories from him. The host had to decipher what he meant, but it was clear what he meant just because of what he'd said earlier. So this man sent an empty box to her because he wanted to keep the memories that they've had in their relationship. So it means that for the past year and a half or so, he has been holding on to her, and the fact that maybe he made a mistake and he wants to get back to her. I don't know, but he didn't want to let go. But I said, couldn't he have written a note saying, I'm doing this because I want you back? And that can be in his ex packet. When they allow him to, can you not do that? You should be, I don't know. To send an empty box sends a huge message, you know? I just figured that he came here to basically get his ex back. That's what I was figuring, which was why when he said, when they had that their exciting reveal in episode 7, and he said that, yeah, I know what you mean, I'm seeing parts of you that I haven't noticed before. It is born out of the fact that he's here, maybe trying to reignite things, but he's seeing her just basically snub him and move on with her life, whispering into other men's ears, you know, being very flirty, chatty with this other guy who's younger again. You know, I just don't know. I think it was a lot for him to process, and maybe that's why he said that he was going to drink that night and loosen up and get, you know, one-on-one time with the glory. He does say in a one-on-one talk, in his one-on-one interview, that he really wants to talk to Ji-hyun first before he can make any final decisions, because he wants to clear some things up since after their breakup and see maybe there's any chance. I think he wants to see if there's any chance of them maybe getting back together before he can proceed with anybody else. And that's why he was excited about this phone call. But then he gets on the call and he hears that she thought that he didn't love her. And so now he's very confused, and he really does want to try and clear things up. He said he's curious why she would think that and where she got that whole idea from. So the fourth person was Min Kyung, and Woo Jin was the one who called her. I wasn't surprised because I know that he did enjoy their date. She tells him that her future with her ex didn't align, and that's why they broke up, and that she wasn't open to reconnecting with her ex before, but is now confused in the house. I think she should switch. It doesn't matter. That's what she said. But in the end, she's more open to a new relationship than reconnecting with her ex. That's how that phone call ended. The fifth was Hyunji. And we see that Baekhyun is already listening in on the conversation. She says that she's already interested in someone, and she has expressed feelings to the person, and so has he. And I wrote, who? Question mark apostrophe. Who has she expressed herself to, and who has expressed themselves to her? If you know, please tell me. And let me know what episode so that I can go and rewatch it, because, yeah, okay. Turns out that Yushik is obviously the one on the phone, but Woojin is also on the phone, and both of them are asking her questions. Yushik says, do you want to get back with your ex? Which was the good question. Very good question that he asked right there. She said before she didn't, but now she's confused, having been in the house, because she's been having such a hard time. And that she'll need some time to think about it in order to decide if she wants him back or not. Now, remember Baekhyun is on the line listening. He then, for some reason, I don't understand what he was smoking, eating, drinking. I just don't know. He then chooses to misunderstand this entire thing and says that she's being incoherent and that she firmly said no, she doesn't want to get back. She had no intention of getting back with her ex. And is she playing with his heart? And I was like, how? When you have home problem, my Nigerian people will understand what that means. When you have home problem that is following you, this is what happens, guys. This is what happens. Because nothing he said in that conversation, in his statement, happened in the conversation. She literally said, I'm confused, torn between two minds. So where did he get his from? Where did he get that from? Like, seriously. Both of them need to just pack it up and go. I'm done. I'm very excited. I said that I would not watch episode 9 until I did this, because it will be unfair. And since we're already 40 minutes into this recording now, I don't know how many minutes I'll cut it down to, guys, but I will definitely be cutting it down. I might just post this one on its own and then do episode 9 on its own. Let's just see how things go. But I needed to record this before I watch episode 9, otherwise it clouds my movement. But yeah, I've been talking a lot and I'm tired. I want to watch the next episode and see how things progress so that we can talk some more. But obviously, if you haven't done that yet, do all the right things. And check out Patreon, because all of these are there. And the reason why these videos are late is because I'm already posting the reactions on Patreon. So be sure to check it out. Guys, I hide free memberships in the descriptions. I don't know how many times. There's some that have been there for a year. And nobody has clicked on them because nobody reads the descriptions. Huh? They There's always hidden things everywhere. I give away free memberships a ton every year. So be sure to be looking in those descriptions, guys. You never know what treasures you would find. But yeah, I'll see you guys in episode 9. Bye-bye.